Today I'm going to do the unboxing and review of this new DeWalt tool that I just added to my collection as my collection continues to grow. My wife bought this for me for my birthday, actually. It just came in today. This is the DCPW550B. This is the bare tool, comes with no battery. That's sold separately, but it does come with a couple of different washer head angles. It comes with the soap container and a hose, because this unit is similar to a pressure washer, but it's a power cleaner. It doesn't quite achieve the same PSI as a pressure washer. However, it does amplify by about 10-fold what your average residential hose will be. I've seen a bunch of people review this online, and some people say, oh, I can give that much pressure with my garden hose. That's not true. That's not how hydraulics work. If there's 50 or 60 PSI in the hose, it doesn't matter how much you pinch it at the end, it's still going to be that same amount of pressure, just less volume coming out at one point. This actually takes that and basically pressurizes the water coming out of it to achieve 10 times what your residential hose would be. This isn't made for pressure washing driveways and houses and stuff. This is a small consumer product for keeping like your 4x4s clean on the trail before you put them away, cleaning your vehicle quickly and easily in the driveway, which is a little bit more pressure than a regular hose would produce, so that you can get a little bit cleaner. Furthermore, people will complain that it is lower PSI. However, they do make higher PSI options. This is just the lower PSI consumer option, much like this impact driver is only about 100 foot-pounds worth of torque. It's a little bit less than that, but you can also buy this one, which has 700 foot-pounds of working and 1,200 of breakaway. It is a huge tool and a huge price difference, but they make different tools for different applications. So this isn't made for pressure washing professionals. This is made for the home consumer, someone who wants to use a slightly advanced pressure over what their typical hoses would produce. The manual has a clean out on there. That's just a little plunger so you can clean out the tips. This is the wand that comes with it. This here is a hose. I think it's about 15 feet long. And what this does is it allows you to either connect to a existing hose like that, you can see right here, or you can actually take it and this float this little receiver in a bucket, and what that will do is use the bucket. It'll actually auto siphon the water or auto prime the unit and pull the water up into the hose and allow you to completely, without hoses or cords, pressure wash. So again, this is really critical for people that are out on the trail using, dirty situations and things like that. Me personally, I have intended to, there's a company called Hydro Tank LLC who does these pretty commonly. I had found them after I had already bought my pieces to do this, but they actually make a little thing where you drill this hole out here. This rear bumper is actually a hollow cavity and can hold about 8 gallons of water, which my intent is to put this fill cap into and then put an exit point for that pressure washer on it so that I can clean it on the go, or if I ever need the pressure washer in the driveway and I don't want to have to fill up a 5-gallon bucket, it's already got the water on hand to clean itself. It's much more self-sufficient that way. You also get with the unit all the attachments in this nice mesh bag. The bag is to keep the tool and all of its accessories so that you do not get them in a wet place that's left that way. This is the foam canister, or the soap canister. I plan on testing it out with my Blackmagic Wet Shine car wash, so I'll load that up and show a demo of that as well. I think that's everything in the box except the unit itself. It is a very large tool by comparison, just so you can see it side by some other tools. Compared to them, it is very large. I'll set this up there and kind of back up so you can kind of see the scale of it. It's about the physical size and probably weight of the reciprocating saw. It's fairly lightweight for what it's worth. Feels nice in the hand. These little holes on the top side of the unit here, those are so that you can put the not in use spray nozzles on top of it. And then the battery compartment itself is actually a water safe compartment so that you don't mix water and electricity. The front end is where you put your chucks in. So you have your foam cannon or the wand. And then there's this little screw right here, which obviously I would recommend using some Teflon tape or some kind of a sealant around it when you screw it all together, as you would with any type of hose or anything like that. And then it's good to go. So I'm gonna put a battery in this thing. I grab my 6 amp hour big one because it's the wider variant of the batteries. When you go to the 5 amp hour or less, they all taper the battery width. And you'll see the batteries physically are fairly different in this step out that happens on this one is very small here. This will fit both of those types of batteries, the larger ones, which are typically in the FlexVolt series or in the 6 or 8 amp hour, as well as the smaller ones. You probably could run a 2 amp hour battery in it. I would never recommend that based on the amount of draw that it has and the amount of runtime that it would give you based on that. So let me put this together and then I'll give a quick demo of it on the vehicle. So I've got it all together here. I just picked one of the spray nozzles to put onto it. It's already primed. It takes about 3 or 4 seconds for that to pull the water from the bucket through that length of hose. The one thing I have found that I wish they would have designed a little bit better is that this quick connector would go on instead of this hose. This hose is the one to drag from a bucket. And then they have this one which attaches to your garden hose. The trick is it would be really nice if this has its own shut-off valve, because if this water is already on, then that quick connect is kind of a pain in the butt. But beyond that, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what this little magic machine is capable of. Ooh. Just shot the tip off of it because I didn't secure it well enough. And as you can see, it's hard to see it, but it is removing the dirt and grime from the outside. Next, I'll put the soap on. And so the soap cannon didn't really have a lot of pressure without the hose, but it kind of splatters everywhere. They could kind of make some better tips for that, I'm sure. But I guess the idea is to kind of just cover everything in soap so it doesn't have to be terribly accurate. Yeah. So, that's the soapy end of it. Let's put on the sprayer again. This time I've got the garden hose attached to the quick connect there, and I've switched from the wide angle 45 degree or 40 degree angle, and there's a 25, and this one that's on there's a 15, so it'll be a narrower spray. It's kind of hard to see unless there's a background to it. There it is. You can see there. You live somewhere like I do where salt means that you have to wash your vehicle every time you go out to the beach. This is going to pay dividends in the way of making this job much faster and less of a hassle to pull out my actual pressure washer. So yeah, overall, I think they've got a couple things they could easily improve upon. The sprayer head attachments for the foam cannon aren't that impressive. I get it, it does the job, but you know, obviously it's DeWalt. They got to push the boundaries and make it cooler. It does have 2 settings for pressure. Oh, I was on the low pressure setting. How about that? Maybe that's part of my problem here. Oh yeah, look at that. Way higher power now. Maybe that will change the soap cannon. So, I guess that's a part of this to be conscientious about as well. The soap cannon might only work well with the high pressure. Let's test that. So now this is a soap cannon on high pressure. Yeah, I guess it's still just a spray everywhere. Kind of mess, but whatever. Gets the job done. It's obviously a lot more water coming out. I ran out of soap there, so not much left in it. But yeah, like I said, overall, they could probably make it so that there were more attachment tips for the end here, as it is very pre-decided and specific. The hose attachment would be really nice to not have to kink the hose to detach this, because as I'll show you, if I detach this right now, water just comes pouring out of my hose. So then you're gonna get your tool wet, as well as have to run over to the spigot and shut it off. So putting some kind of a valve on this end of the hose would be wise if you're going to continue to use it for this application. But otherwise, this is a fantastic tool. Saves you a lot of time and headaches pulling out tools and setting up pressure washer for small jobs like washing your vehicle, which is what I do 99% of the time with my pressure washer. So I would definitely say I highly recommend it. For what the price is, I can go to the car wash about 7 times locally at the do-it-myself car wash, or like 4 times at the drive-through one, and pay as much as my wife paid for this. So definitely worth the tool if you already have the battery system. It's DeWalt, so it's obviously carried their warranty and everything with it, and does the job. So I hope you liked it. If you do, give it the old thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Do you have one? Do you use it all the time? Let's hear about it.